Why do you think this chapter is important?
Oh, okay. So I got this one. Longevity is my favorite chapter. It is.
All right, I like
Yeah.
it. I like
There
it.
are, you can tell that Richard was on fire when he was writing all of this stuff because it's just phenomenal. There's chunks of it. Some of this has been moved around too because there was parts that didn't make sense in longevity, like they belonged in other parts of the book. But there's a good solid few pages of him just like I never heard him, I think, so passionately speak about these topics. And it's really that might have been another moment that kind of rekindled the fire, was just like reading this stuff and being like, oh my gosh, like what a compelling, a lot of it could be in the intro too. I feel like a lot of it is just, you can tell he's like kind of trying to wrap up and summarize and say a lot of really great information, and not so much. If you just read the intro and longevity, that I feel like is a super mini book in itself. And those aren't long, either of them, I don't think. But it's really phenomenal. It's definitely, if you want to know who Richard is, that's a good chapter. That's a good place to start. Just read the longevity chapter.
Yeah, it's I'll just pick one of these to I like going back and reading some of the stuff I wrote, just kind of because I'm going through it too, especially this one, because this was the third one in the 3-part series of SciVive. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, I just need to get this done. I'm gonna, there's a little bit of angst there. There's a little bit. I'm sure you can relate. There's a little bit of like, I'm just gonna, I'm not gonna be extremely polished on it. I'm just gonna like say what I'm thinking when I think about these quotes. So yeah, that's just not cool, obviously. So what are you gonna do about it? A little bit of aggressive Max on that. Yeah, so the quote, you can do something, right? We are at a time where we do not have to pretend there's nothing that can be done. There are things that can be done, such as Silicon Valley tech billionaire Peter Thiel, huge fan, by the way, said they're underfunded. No one cares about them. Poor Aubrey de Grey. Aubrey's coming on the show March 6th, by the way, everyone.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be great. I'm very excited for that. Poor Aubrey de Grey has been giving talks at TED and at Google. No one believes. They're just listeners sitting there thinking, crazy guy. Death is cool. Yeah, you don't need to think or talk about it every day, as that'll be probably distracting for most people. But stop pretending it's not going to happen sooner or later, assuming you'd like to live to be 150 or so, if we don't start funding living longer research.
Yeah, let's do that. Boom. Let's live longer. I'm about it.
I would prefer to live longer than less long.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I think given the choice, given the option, giving the ability to spend my time, it's not only, so first of all, you can start with being selfish, but then once selfish, meaning, you want yourself to live longer. Cool. Right. That's enough. Really. You don't even need to go farther than that. Don't you want to live a longer life? I'm sure there's some people who don't, whatever, that's a different story. But like in general, nobody's looking forward to dying. So once you get to that part, cool. You want to work on it. You want to fund it. You want to support it. You selfishly want to live longer. That's all you need. But if you go to the next level and think that, hey, if I can live longer and maybe people around me can live longer, and wow, maybe the whole world. So you're not even affecting yourself, your family, you're affecting this broader world. And you believe that, we're all connected, lives have value, more people, the better, all these narratives as well, which I think there's a lot of good things you could say about them. You're helping people. If you like to help people, help them not die. How about that? If you could do that in a passive way, like you can actively work on the therapies, but you're not the one that has to, inject them or give them pills. We have people who can scale this issue. We have doctors that can handle all this stuff eventually once we have the research. So if you can do that and you don't have to do anything but believe it and not be pro-death and donate if you want to, just don't be a denier, I guess. Beyond the selfish part of just wanting to live longer, you can help a lot of people do the same thing. Yep. So I think there's what have you got to lose? There's unlimited upside. It's like asymmetric upside to this. what have you got to lose? If you want to, do you want to donate, whatever it is, how much you can afford, but just, I guess, don't be pro-death. That's like stage one. Don't act like it shouldn't happen. Don't act like people are crazy for working on it, because it's possible. We're getting there, just underfunded currently.
Yeah. Yep. I think people will start to realize, I think, more and more, just like any new technology, it seems like it's a new concept, I guess, even though I'm sure it's not at all. But people aren't used to the thought of whole, like, and this really speaks to my own heart, because I went through this change of changing my diet and my habits and really becoming well-rounded and holistic in that manner. So, the fact that people don't realize that, oh, wait, I can work on my not aging as a whole and not just have to worry about when I get heart disease or if I get cancer or, this, that, or the other thing. It's more about that ancient saying, let thy food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. I feel like that can be related to longevity, because it's not a matter of doing something to combat something that's killing. I mean, it is, but it's on such a greater scale, right? It's reversing, or working, giving your body the nourishment and giving it what it needs in order to stay young and think young and be young. And